It's Monday night, the 13th of April, and day 104 of pursuing my journey to alignment and living the dream. Here's today's power statement I wrote last night for today. I will start recording lesson 9, financing your business. So let me show you what I got done today. Here it is, right here. Okay, hold that up.
Welcome back. I see you have a big smile on your face. You must have just looked at your business checks one more time to see your business's name listed right in the upper left-hand corner of your checks. I remember the first time I saw my checks with my business name on them. Oh, it was fantastic. So, congratulations. Good job in getting that done. As you know, today's lesson is Lesson 9, Financing Your Business. Now that you've opened your business bank account and you're set to do the financial transactions record keeping, it's now time to focus on how you're going to be able to finance your business so that you're ready to launch your business successfully.
So there you go. I started recording the segments for lesson 9, Finance Your Business, this being the first segment, and I sure enjoyed doing it. But I have to say that I soon discovered that I had written up quite a few tongue twisters in several of the segments, and so I had to delete some of the recordings and re-record those segments over and over and over again. But I pressed through it, and by the end of the day today, I had finished recording more than half of the segments, and so I'll be able to finish the rest of them tomorrow. Anyway, here's my list of to-dos. Right here, the yellow one is restart the recording, check the accounts, check the bank accounts, check the emails. I had a virtual doctor's appointment. Anyhow, Monday, got those tasks done. As you can see, I had just one yellow highlighted task record, but also that virtual doctor's office appointment. It was quite interesting, actually. I didn't have to get poked or get shot and didn't have my blood pressure. There you go. And it tightens up on the arm. Oh, I'm in pretty good health, and so I'm good to go until next appointment, which is going to be in July. Okay, let's answer Corey's get honest with yourself questions. What didn't go well today, Marty, or could you have done better today? Did you wake up early and start strong? Yep, 6 o'clock. Boom, my eyes just woke up and I go, time to get up. Did you start your morning with power? Yes. Were you productive throughout your day? 7 recordings. Boom, 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 boom. Done. Did you get some of the most important things done that you wanted to? That moved my goal forward, and I showed up as a person I wanted to all day long, and then went downstairs and I was present with Kathleen. It was a good day, so it went well. Now, combine these questions into this ask yourself question. Were you honest with yourself about today's task, Marty? In other words, did you keep your commitments you made to yourself today? It may seem like I spent a whole day on just one thing, recording video clips, or when I build out these videos, and you're right. When I get doing those things, I take the whole day, and it's the way it is. Except I do get a lot of other things done too, like my daily reading, my errands, and other stuff like that. But in thinking about it, I decided that I'm running the risk of doing video entries that are boring, so I wanted to stop mentioning all those little teeny things that I'm doing, like doing my email, doing my bank. Just know I'm doing that, and I read another chapter in the book that I'm reading for the month every month. I'm doing that as well, and so just know that I'm still doing all of the little lesser important things that I check, and I'm just not writing them down all the time because it's a habit now. And I do that. My books are right over here that I'm reading. I have notes in 3 separate books that I'm reading now. So I'm not going to include those kind of things in my daily entry right now unless something really exciting happens, and I'll take a note of it and make that comment then. I will continue, however, to include a little discussion here and there about certain laws of success that really motivate me and make that part of my video journal entry exciting by the end of the night. I guess what I'm hoping for is that people will watch these entries later, and somehow folks will find these videos, and I'll find the videos exciting, and that I'll take a few notes on it and remind myself of the great things that are happening, and hopefully it'll be beneficial for them too. Maybe, just maybe, some of my rambling ons will help them develop their own success mentality, like it's helped me develop mine. The next comment that Corey asked us to ask is this: what was the one thing out of all the things you did today, Marty, that you know you could improve on going forward? In other words, did you have or did you experience any failures today? And if so, what were they, and could you turn them into a tool of success? Well, I don't feel there was a noticeable failure or problem that I had to deal with today. Like I've said many times, however, no one is perfect, and so no day is perfect. But I do feel any of us can work at the speed of 10. We can do that. I believe it's possible. And when we want to, and still, it may still not be a perfect day. So achieving the speed of 10 is great, even if there's some problems out there happening. So with that in mind, I can't think of a failure today. I worked at a great speed today, speed of Braden, and it was a great day. The next question is, what was my biggest success that I had today? My biggest success today happened after my workday was done. As I sat down and relaxed with Kathleen, I had three thoughts come to me as I sat there. As I sat relaxing, these thoughts came into the portal of my mind out of the blue. And of course, that's how the two amigos work. When they've given them an assignment to go out and do some things, it may take a while, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, they come back and they tell me what it is. And so I took the phone out of my pocket and I wrote the thoughts down on my cell phone's notepad. That way I could give them the time they deserve tomorrow. I didn't want to interrupt that evening tonight, so I put them down. I'm going to deal with those tomorrow. The fact is that these days I don't treat any thoughts as unimportant or not worth my attention, because I've learned to stop and record every one of those thoughts that come to me and then give it the time to develop in my heart and my mind. And that's exciting when it happens. One of the thoughts I had today was I have a certificate of achievement for when my beginner entrepreneurs reach a certain milestone or a level of monthly income. That's the thought that came to my mind. I thought I could call it a $1,000 a month achiever, a Bronze Club achiever, and a $5,000 a month achiever in net income, whatever, a Silver Club achiever, and a $10,000 a month achiever, a Gold Club achiever. I'm going to think about that and see if there's a little pins or some kind of certificates or whatever that they can be rewarded, that they're acknowledged by others in our group and in our mastermind, and give them a cheer that they need. The second thought was the question, what's the opposite of worry? I don't know how that came to me. I'd given that assignment because I think of worry being a pre-played thing, like I've said before. Worry is just simply pre-playing failure or negative thoughts, whereas positive pre-playment is dreaming and visualizing positive things. To me, worry is simply pre-playing the negative, like I said, and it's just dreaming and thinking about what things you don't want to have happen. And why would you do that? You want to pre-play what you do want to have happen. Like all emotions, however, worry and anxiety serve many positive purposes, at least with the right doses, however. I'm using worry and anxiety synonymously here. So, for example, our anxiety warns us of danger. It keeps us up to perform at our peak. Be attention, be ready, and motivates us to take protective actions when there's danger. But excessive anxiety, excessive worrywart can be overwhelming, even paralyzing, and panic attacks can come from it. They can be terrifying. The question then becomes, what could have us cope with persistent worry and anxiety? Like many folks today right now with the COVID-19 pandemic are worrying themselves to just terrible thinking. I'm so sad for them. So here's a few things that don't work. Denial. There's really nothing to worry about. That's being in denial. Of course there's things to worry about. Avoidance. I don't have to face my fears. I'll just avoid the situation that makes me fearful. Run away. Or the ostrich sticking its head in the sand. Repression. I'll suppress my true emotions because they don't make sense to me anyway. Obsession. Maybe if I keep thinking about this problem, I can magically solve it. With that said, here are three powerful antidotes to worry. First, being held in loving arms. Is that not a great one? When anxiety is at its highest, words may be inadequate, especially for little children. I remember when my little daughters were all so worried and had a boogeyman scare with it, just to come and be hugging and lay by them side and give them a loving arms, their worry fade. They need a strong sense of internal safety that they cannot yet provide for themselves, and that's why we do it. This sense of inner safety comes from being held in safe, loving arms of caring adults. And it's true that adults too sometimes need loving arms to alleviate anxiety. When this earthquake happened and our couch rocked and rolled and our lamp in our ceilings, the light started to sway, my wife zipped right over and we hugged each other and just kind of said, okay, here we go. That's loving arms even for adults. Okay, recent research suggests that just holding a loved one's hand can lessen both physical and emotional pain. Number 2, cultivating a soothing inner voice. This voice, instead of adding fuel to the flames of anxiety, can cool down your anxiety with comforting self-talk, such as, "This is just a temporary mood. You'll feel better soon," or "Just do the best you can. This too shall pass." Thinking and speaking the right words, the right thoughts, is almost magic. Number 3, befriending all of your emotions. The opposite of worry is learning to welcome and accept every emotion as it arises. As Cohen writes, when you watch your own emotional flow with no effort to change it, you realize you can endure it. You can also make a way for the next emotion that comes along, whether joy or sadness or even anger, expressing it freely and responsibly, under control, right thinking. So peace of mind or serenity is not the answer to the riddle of what is the opposite of worry. The opposite of worry is not a still and unchanging state. Rather, it's a flow of emotions that enables us to acknowledge whatever we are feeling, to express those feelings when necessary, to take action if possible, and then to welcome the next feeling that emerges. To sum it up in a word, I love this, the opposite of worry is mindfulness. I would even use words like reassurance, confidence, hopefulness, positiveness, right thinking, mindfulness. Be in charge of your thoughts. Croy's next question asks, what's the one thing you did that made you feel successful today, Marty? This is a simple one for today. Doing those lessons and then coming down to spend time with my wife and being happy about it. It was great. The next question is, what movies did you watch in your mind today, Marty? Did you make time for them? Well, besides my Fab Five that I call it now, I had an interesting thing happen to me today. As I was coaching a young woman in my imagination, I was giving her some life coaching support, even though it was supposed to be business-related coaching. At that moment, I realized something. Even though folks are going to join my Living the Dream coaching for beginner business entrepreneurs, I'm going to find myself coaching folks on life, their relationships, their fears, their marriages, and on and on and on, because it's all intertwined with the goal of starting a dream and running a business. I guess what I'm saying is that coaching is coaching. And so I'm excited to be of help with all of these different opportunities and possibilities, and I hope I'm prepared. Next, Croy asks you to answer this. Rate your day's effort. Well, I gave today a 9, and that's because I most definitely worked at the speed of 9 and finished recording lesson 9. And then I went downstairs and relaxed at the speed of 10. I don't know if you can do that. The next question is, if this was the only thing you get done tomorrow, Marty, but you'd still feel like a success, what would that one thing be? Now put it into a power statement. Well, I decided my power statement for tomorrow is going to say this. I will finish recording lesson 9, Financing Your Business. Since I didn't get all 7 segments recorded today, I'm hoping I can finish the rest of them tomorrow. And maybe I'll still have some time to start building them out too, but we'll see how that goes. Okay, let's end the day strong. Here's what I'm grateful for today. First of all, I'm grateful for gifts of kindness. I'm going to show you this. This little thing has a little sticky thing you can peel on, but I have this nice little leather. There's business cards there. Okay, love that, love that. When I was working at Perch several years ago, like I mentioned early on, I was on a team of 5 account managers. I was a senior account manager with that group. Every year we'd get a little something to each other for Christmas before Christmas break. One of the teammates surprised me with this business card holder. He had given each of us a kind of a package of popcorn treat, and everybody got that. And I think, but what was nice was that he gave me this little extra gift of kindness. What it said to me was it affirmed our friendship even more, and that I was more than just a co-worker to him. Gifts of kindness are powerful. And his example became a beacon of light for me that I'm trying to live up to and can do for other folks too, because gifts of kindness say that you care, that you affirm your friendship, that you love them. It doesn't have to be big. That's a little smaller thing. It's wonderful. Next, I'm grateful for the law of the hurdle. In Aintree, England, just outside of Liverpool, each September the Grand National Steeplechase is held. 40 horses run a race around a course 4.5 miles in total length, jumping over 32 hurdles, 2 of which are water jumps. The horse and the rider must not only make the hurdle, but the water hazard on the other side as well. Usually the first hurdle puts 25% of the participants out of the race. Another group is eliminated at the second hurdle, and so on through the 32 32 miles, or the 32 hurdles. The horses and riders are trained to develop strength and skill in getting over these hurdles. Some 60,000 people attend the race each year, paying as high as $100 for a seat. People love seeing people and even horses succeed, and sometimes fail. All sorts of handicaps are placed in the way. The horse never knows what to expect behind the hedges. You know, those tall hedges going over, oh my goodness. There may be a moat. He may be crowded by other horses that are there, or they've fallen down and they're landing to come. But he must successfully meet each situation as he comes to it. Only a few horses are still in the race at the end of the course. Horses and riders must be good to be in the race at the finish, and of course the winner receives a substantial grand prize. Life is very much like the Aintree steeplechase, and if we have the right attitudes, life's obstacles can be immediately arousing and motivating. The pathway of life is generously sprinkled with hurdles to be overcome and difficulties to be surmounted. That's the program we face here in life, whether we like it or not. And so one who is planning the course of his life would do well to learn to appreciate the hurdles and take them into account and prepare him or herself accordingly. As someone has said, the race is not always to the swift, nor to the battle to the strong, but to the one who is still in there fighting at the end of the course. A motto carved in the Massachusetts School for the Blind says, "Obstacles are things to be overcome." Obstacles make us prepare. They're placed in our way to help us develop strength and skill. The successful-minded man or woman sees opportunities in their obstacles. The unsuccessful man or woman sees obstacles in their opportunities. Certainly, to be forewarned is to be forearmed. Hurdles make it possible for the strong, determined, prepared person to work his or her way up to the front. It's interesting to see in any group of people how many quit at the first obstacle. Some stick to the job until the second or third hurdle, but only a few develop that quality of stick-to-itiveness and determination that guarantees they will be there at the end. The weakling says how difficult it is to live by one's faith and values, while the strong person, like Job, says, "Though he slay me, yet will I trust in him." We should never be a dropout from success. It isn't how many starts we make in life that's important. It's how many times we are there at the finish. We get up, dust ourselves off, and continue. Get up, dust ourselves off, and continue. Any horse can fall down and quit. It's always very easy for a human being to become discouraged at some little thing that the winner takes in his stride. This reminds me of a favorite poem, Get Up and Win the Race, where a young man falls down as he starts the race. He jumps up too fast and trips, looks up to see that his father is up there in the stand and mouthing, "Get up and win the race." And so with his newfound courage, he gets up quickly, only to stumble and fall again because he started too fast again. Once again, he looks up to see his father in the stands, standing with a loving smile and nodding his head at his son and mouthing the words, "Get up, son. Get up and win the race." This happens 2 more times. And so by then, everyone else is coming around to the home stretch. And so the people in the stands set their gaze on this young boy who finally gets up one last time to finish the race. And everyone now, including his father, waits for him to cross the finish line. Whereupon the crowd burst into a loud roar of absolute admiration for this young man who would not quit and who was determined to finish the race. My friends, anybody can have a good record for a month, but it's the man or woman who keeps on month after month after month, year after year, taking all the annoyances and setbacks and hurdles in their stride that makes a successful mentality and happy life. It is not the path of least resistance, that's for sure, that builds strength and power and courage and initiative. It's not the peaceful sea that makes the skilled mariner. When the sea is calm, all boats alike show mastership in sailing. It was the north wind that made the Vikings great. We all must operate according to the law of the hurdle. And lastly, I'm grateful for the principle of hope. Too many of us forget the power that comes when we step out in faith and choose to hope, declaring that it's possible. I believe it's possible. It's possible is an expression of hope. Hope is that feeling of expectation and desire for a certain thing to happen. Since it is a feeling, then it obviously comes from our thoughts. thoughts of expectancy, thoughts of faith, and thoughts of possibilities. Okay, I'm done philosophizing. I'm going to wrap this up now. Today was a great day of living the dream. So I'll be back right here at my computer tomorrow night, sharing my day's journey towards alignment and living the dream. Until then, I wish you continued success. Good night.